1. Vikings receiver Jordan Addison's DUI case, no contest plea and consequences. 2. Jordan Addison's DUI plea deal explained. Vikings WR avoids jail, awaits NFL suspension. 3. Jordan Addison's DUI case update, no jail time, wet reckless plea explained. 1. Vikings receiver Jordan Addison's DUI case, no contest plea and consequences. A wake-up call for Vikings receiver Jordan Addison. Imagine being found asleep behind the wheel on a busy interstate, with your promising NFL career hanging in the balance. That's exactly what happened to Minnesota Vikings receiver Jordan Addison on July 12, 2024, near Los Angeles International Airport. The California Highway Patrol's discovery of Addison's vehicle led to his arrest and a subsequent DUI charge. But here's where it gets interesting. After a year of careful consideration and reflection, Addison has decided to plead no contest to a lesser charge of wet reckless, a plea bargain that acknowledges the involvement of alcohol or drugs in a reckless driving incident. This decision comes with a standard fine and the completion of 2 online courses, which Addison's agent, Timothy Younger, believes will lead to the early termination of his probation in 6 months. A lesser charge, but still a serious consequence. Addison's case is a prime example of the complexities of the justice system. Initially charged with 2 misdemeanors, driving under the influence of alcohol and driving with a blood alcohol level above the legal limit of 0.08%, Addison pleaded not guilty to both. However, after careful consideration of the charges and defenses, he decided to plead to the lesser charge of reckless driving. This decision may have avoided a lengthy trial, but it still carries significant consequences, including a potential suspension of up to 3 games by the NFL. A second chance for Addison. Addison's attorney, Jacqueline Esperagna, praised her client's decision to take responsibility for his actions. While Mr. Addison's case would have made for a great trial, I admire him for accepting the city attorney's wet reckless offer, she said. Now, he can put this incident behind him and solely focus on his promising career. With this decision, Addison can indeed move forward, but the question remains, will the NFL take a similar stance? The NFL's next move. As Addison enters his 3rd season with the Vikings, the NFL will now decide on discipline for the 23-year-old receiver. The league's decision could have a significant impact on Addison's career, and it's a reminder that the consequences of a DUI charge can extend far beyond the courtroom. With 133 catches for 1,786 yards and a team-leading 19 touchdown receptions in just 2 seasons, Addison's future is undoubtedly bright, but will this incident be a speed bump or a major roadblock? What do you think? Should the NFL impose a harsher penalty on Addison, or is the wet reckless plea a sufficient consequence? Share your thoughts in the comments below. 2. Jordan Addison's DUI plea deal explained. Vikings WR avoids jail, awaits NFL suspension. A single decision can put a promising NFL career under a glaring spotlight. Minnesota Vikings wide receiver Jordan Addison has pleaded no contest to a reduced charge after his much-publicized DUI case. But here's where things get complicated. The plea doesn't mean he's clear of controversy, and the NFL may still step in with disciplinary action. Let's rewind. Jordan Addison, who joined the Vikings as their first-round draft pick in 2023 and immediately became a key playmaker, found himself in legal trouble last year. In July 2024, police discovered Addison asleep in a white Rolls-Royce that was blocking a lane on I-105 near Los Angeles International Airport. He was subsequently charged with driving under the influence of alcohol and having a blood alcohol concentration of at least 0.08%. Addison later admitted to being in a dark place at the time, reflecting openly on his struggles as training camp began. On Thursday, instead of standing trial, Addison officially accepted a deal known in California as a wet reckless plea. In practical terms, he admitted to reckless driving involving alcohol but avoided a formal DUI conviction. According to his attorney, Jacqueline Esperagna, Addison will serve a year of probation, pay a $390 fine, and complete 2 online courses. By accepting the city attorney's offer, His defense team suggests Addison is taking responsibility rather than contesting the case, hoping to close this chapter and refocus on football. And this is the part most people miss. Even though Addison dodged the more serious DUI conviction, the NFL's strict policies regarding substance abuse still apply. Their rules stipulate that a first-time alcohol-related offense, especially when driving is involved, typically results in a suspension of 3 games, including both regular or postseason matchups, unless aggravating factors warrant more severe punishment. So, will the league make an example of Addison, or show leniency given his plea? That's where opinions are bound to clash. Addison didn't make his plea lightly. According to his agent, Tim Younger, Addison carefully weighed all potential defenses and consequences before accepting the deal. He has kept the Vikings organization informed at every step and remains committed to his role on the team. If Addison complies with all terms, there's a chance he'll be released from probation in just 6 months, giving him a fresh slate for the 2025 season. But let's not gloss over recent history. This is Addison's second headline-grabbing traffic incident in as many years. In July 2023, he was cited for driving at a staggering 140 miles per hour on a Minnesota freeway, a speed that would spark controversy in any context. He pled guilty to misdemeanor speeding, saw the reckless driving charge dismissed, and paid a $686 fine. Is this pattern of high-risk behavior a cause for concern, or simply the errors of a young athlete adjusting to the pressures of fame? On the field, Addison's talent is undeniable. Over 2 NFL seasons, he has started 29 games, reeling in 133 catches for 1,786 yards and scoring 19 touchdowns. But now the bigger question is, can he keep his focus and avoid more off-field distractions, or will this series of incidents cloud his future? Here's the controversy. Is the NFL's approach to player discipline fair when it comes to alcohol-related offenses? Should a plea to a lesser offense still trigger multi-game suspensions, or do young players like Addison deserve a second chance without career-altering consequences? We want to hear your take. Should Addison's actions lead to further punishment from the league, or has he paid his dues? Chime in with your thoughts. Whether you agree or disagree, your voice adds to this vital debate. 3. Jordan Addison's DUI case update, no jail time, wet reckless plea explained. Imagine a promising football star's career hanging in the balance due to a momentary lapse in judgment. That's precisely what happened to Jordan Addison, the former USC receiver who now plays for the Minnesota Vikings. But here's where it gets controversial. Despite being caught asleep behind the wheel of a Rolls-Royce in Los Angeles, Addison managed to avoid jail time. In July 2024, a California Highway Patrol officer discovered Addison dozing off at the wheel, causing traffic congestion near Los Angeles International Airport. Initially, Addison pleaded not guilty to 2 misdemeanor drunk driving charges in December. However, in a recent turn of events, he entered a no-contest plea to the lesser charge of wet reckless driving upon a highway. This strategic move allowed him to sidestep the harsher penalties associated with a DUI conviction. While Mr. Addison's case could have set the stage for a compelling courtroom drama, I commend him for taking responsibility, stated his attorney, Jacqueline Sparagna. This outcome enables him to move forward without the burden of a criminal record, allowing him to concentrate on his burgeoning NFL career. As part of his sentencing, Addison faces 12 months of probation, a $390 fine, and the requirement to complete 2 online courses. His agent, Tim Younger, expressed optimism about the situation, noting that Addison's probation might be terminated early after just 6 months. Younger highlighted Addison's proactive involvement in MAD events and programs, emphasizing his commitment to learning from the experience. If Addison had been convicted of driving under the influence with a blood alcohol level of 0.08%, the consequences could have been severe. He might have faced up to 6 months in jail, a fine of up to $1,000, and a license suspension lasting up to 10 months. However, by pleading no contest to a lesser charge, he avoided these penalties. It's worth noting that the NFL has its own policies regarding substance abuse, which could still result in a 3-game suspension without pay. Depending on the circumstances, the league could impose a harsher punishment. As of now, the NFL is reviewing the case. Before joining the Vikings, Addison enjoyed a successful college career. He started his journey at the University of Pittsburgh, where he won the prestigious Fred Biletnikoff Award in 2021 for being the best receiver in the country. After transferring to USC, he continued his impressive performance, catching 59 passes for 875 yards and 8 touchdowns in his final season. In the 2023 NFL Draft, the Minnesota Vikings selected Addison with the 23rd overall pick. Since then, he has made a significant impact, recording 133 catches for 1,786 yards and 19 touchdowns in just 2 seasons. This case raises important questions about accountability and rehabilitation in high-profile sports. How much responsibility should athletes take for their actions, and how should they be punished? What measures can be taken to ensure that such incidents do not recur? These are discussions worth having as we support athletes in navigating the challenges of professional life.